I was 16 back then. That's what I was like as a boy. He's able to see and create a story, place accents, and show new meanings. Oleksandr Dubovik is one of the pillars of Ukrainian avant-garde, a patriarch, an entire epoch in the country's cultural life. Pro Art learned at the Bouquet Kiev Stage festival how this outstanding artist, master of abstract art, surprises and delights audiences today. I'm a patriarch, it's true. At the moment I'm 87, so I do have the right to be a patriarch. However, I'm not sure if it's a right or a woe. Well, we'll see.
Я дуже люблю Олександра Дубовика і взагалі не уявляю собі київського культурного простору без цієї.
I really like Oleksandr Dubovik, and I really can't imagine the Kiev cultural space without this figure. One of the memories from my student youth days is a visit to Dubovik's workshop. The select few were allowed there cautiously. So-called art critics in civilian clothes were always somewhere nearby.
Так звані, це бувший період абстракціоністський, просто нон-фігуратив, але...
It was still the abstract period, just non-figurative art. But there was something more below the surface. There was a challenge for self-sufficiency, independence of the artist, who came with his own world, with a task, with a mission, if you like to recreate this world and present it to its fullest extent. Oleksandr Dubovik graduated from the Kiev Institute of Art in 1965. Over the years of creative work, he created mosaics and paintings, stained glass windows and tapestries, designed books, posters, and interiors. He has published more than 50 albums and books containing his reflections. Dubovik's special projects include the stained glass windows of the new Apostolic Church in Kiev and the chapel murals in the city of Berles-Alpes near Nice. I'm a general artist. I can do everything, and I can create realistic paintings, portraits, and landscapes, and a carpet. I made stained glass windows. I create mosaics, a lot of things, frescoes. I did a painting of a chapel in France, in the south of France, near Nice, and there are 5 of them. 5 of these chapels. These were Picasso, Cocteau, Matisse. Large-scale exhibitions of the master were held successfully both in Ukraine and abroad. But at the Bouquet Kiev Stage festival, he's not just a participant of the program. He's the source of the very idea of the festival, to give the public a bouquet of arts. This exhibition is a small one, a section of my works, about 23 in all. In this case, I am pleased to be exhibited here at this festival, because I have never exhibited in the interior. This is the house of the Metropolitan, and suddenly all these modern, I believe modern, things are hanging here. I've got the feeling as though they've already been here. They slot into it immediately, and look, they're already perceived differently. I already see them differently than somewhere in some large exhibition halls.
Тобто це дуже гарна, дуже така наснажлива виставка, знаєте, незалежна.
This is a very good, extremely uplifting and independent exhibition. I see how an artist who is older than me works tirelessly, going steadily, constantly conquering new heights. And this in itself is a source of inspiration.
Служить джерелом наснаги. Хочеться в такому просторі.
In this space I want to keep my back straight and try just as hard. Oleksandr Dubovik, the son of repressed Ukrainian poet Mikhailo Dubovik, belongs to the generation of the 60s, the so-called children of the thaw. His life path is complex and thorny. This talented young man began as a realist, and recognition came to him immediately. But then, over the next 20 years, the artist's work was not exhibited at all. The thing is, this style's withdrawal took place in the mid-60s. Then there was a withdrawal in the whole country. The ideology changed, everything changed. People's attitude towards art, to themselves, and so on. It was accumulating in bits. I received tremendous information what was happening around the world. And over these, though few years, I began to build my system. And due to this, I was immediately clinched by the official propaganda machine. It could not be perceived. This went on for about 20 years. It was obviously scary. When there's no future, you know, it was a complete dead end. Nobody could have foreseen then what would happen. He was branded a nationalist, cosmopolitan, and a Zionist. In the meantime, the works of a daring innovator gave birth to a new level of artistic abstract thinking, and the unique language of the Ukrainian underground was being constructed. And if a person took this step, having acquired a classical education, he or she began to combine images and meanings. It's a huge path. At first, there is a fall into the abyss, and then the opportunity to piece yourself back together the way you want to be, and not how you graduated from the education system. 20 years in the life of a human being is a huge amount of time. On the other hand, I think that perhaps not in vain. I just collected all I could absorb, and these signs, they began to live in these pictures. Creating my own system, I discarded everything else that I did not need. As the artist said, he painfully squeezed out the naturalistic vision from himself. From that moment, his manner is constantly changing. At present, Oleksandr Dubovik is introducing the art of contemporary Ukraine in prestigious galleries on various continents. And somewhere around 1989, when Ukraine was becoming independent, I made a move toward the world. The start was at a big exhibition in former Yugoslavia in Belgrade. Later, others. Afterwards, I got an American grant to visit America. It was the first such case in the Soviet Union. And so I went with the exhibition, made acquaintances with artists' workshops. I have been to America numerous times since that first visit. I have been to New York, Chicago, Cleveland. Thanks to these travels, the artist's knowledge accumulated. He was generalizing world experience, cultivated his own ideas, and unique projects were born. I don't live in such a vacuum. I see lots of museums. I have toured the whole world, and I have seen millions of these paintings. And I discard some ideas, but something remains. And I then create the space that is comfortable for me. It is here. Dubovik, an artist, philosopher, writer, is famous for being impeccably fluent not only with a brush but also in a sharp word, and his sense of humor is the irresistible charm that attracts companions to him. Did we meet the 15-minute deadline? I'm trying to be helpful. His painting is a complex set of symbols and references, a multidimensional space hidden behind the surface of the canvas. The artist layers images on the principle of the palimpsest. Sources are visible in his works. He investigated and adopted the traditions of suprematists, so I think it is enough for us to simply look at art, being inspired in other, for us to grow by ourselves as artists and not in only dimensions. The most repeated sign in Dubovik's paintings is a bouquet. Like Malevich's square, the artist clarifies. The bouquet of Dubovik is also abstract, but his idea is not emptiness, but absolute fullness. It looks like either a human head or a keyhole, and the viewer probably has to find the key. When it's dark, all these bouquets, it's a miracle. These bouquets are either red or dark blue. How did this come to my mind? I drew such a tiny book with rhymes and drawings. I worked for about 2 weeks on it. Yes, rhymes and drawings. And then the idea of a bouquet of this festival was born. This festival is fantastic. This image, this symbol of the castle, as in the painting Doors, it's so magnetic. Personally, it causes me to feel anxious and some kind of internal tension. It challenges one to think. This festival was born from my idea of a bouquet. All that is being constructed and demonstrated there now was generated by this little grain, and then it all grew into a festival. Both the title and visual symbolism of the festival are taken from the works of Oleksandr Dubovik. His bouquet represents the ideas of harmony and integrity. This is a sign of generosity. The bouquet is everywhere. This is one of the main elements in my concept, a sense of the integrity of the world. This is a synthetic origin. I don't want to say that that's the divine principle, but I would rather say the absolute. The world on the paintings of Dubovik is both simple and complex for comprehension. The basis of his paintings is a well-worked-out system of visual codes.
Тут багато, скажімо, робіт для мене незнайомих.
There are many works that are new for me, and this is just further proof that a living, powerful talent never stops changing. He's always in the process of development, and this is an absolutely normal process of certain permanent transformations. Let's say the permanent shedding of skin, self-renewal, surpassing the standards, which an artist makes himself with his own rules. and we can only follow these rules.
Сам за своїми власними правилами, а нам лишається тільки за цими правилами стежити.
The artist developed his own figurative plastic system of painting, in which the interpretations of suprematism, cubism, geometric abstractions, traditions of Russian iconography, and avant-garde of the 1920s are all combined. Any artistic concept can be deciphered. It is precisely this that's the power and influence of art, when it has an effect not on a single individual. It's a way of uniting people, the way to evoke their sympathy and attention towards each other, not to the painting or something else. It's a way to make people ask themselves this question: what do I live for? The wind will blow over you tomorrow, and you'll be gone, but you've left something behind. Dubovik is certain that such a language of images was laid down by our Ukrainian ancestors. Each painting of his is not just a random clash of colors and composition of geometric figures, hieroglyphs and pictograms, but a visualized philosophical essay. I understand this language of images he's chosen, that is to some extent anxious. It responds to some of my intuitive experiences and thoughts. These images, both ethnic and modern, are quite understandable. There are images of fire. There are geometric figures there. There are lots of allegories and symbols. Perhaps it's good that there is not such a determinacy, and the artist provides a possibility to fill in the blanks. Everyone is looking for something not understandable for him or her, understands in his or her own way, and this is actually also his merit. In general, both the bright colorful stains and these symbols, they allow an option for imagination, for certain personal impressions. I would say it's already postmodernism. The issue is that a thing does not exist on its own. There is something else, something hidden behind it. There's a secret there that cannot be explained. And there's this game, this thing. A mix of reality and the surreal creates such a synthetic feeling. It creates the feeling that this is life. This is filled with opportunities of the possible. Ukrainian art is developing in a multi-sided way, and it needs to enter the world space, the master believes, and it cannot be done without systematic support from the state. I think this unrest in art is normal. It is a normal thing. With plenty of people appears plenty of competition, and artists are not straightforward. They have souls, by the way. Ukraine is incredibly talented. They don't even fully realize it. I think these are fantastic people. I believe that even when someone says it's a complete shambles and everything is crashing down, everything will crash tomorrow. Nothing will crash. These are changes taking place inside, invisibly. This is majestic. I am absolutely sure of it. It's already over 15, but I'm trying to do my best. You did appreciate this, didn't you? We're very impressed with the exhibition. This may be our Malevich. He is certainly different with his shapes and colors. He has such life as certain works, and that's good. You can watch them forever. Each time new images appear, you find something new. It's simply wonderful. I'm very glad and happy. I also liked it very much. I'd like to mention that his best works are presented here, and we're so happy to be at this exhibition. After many international exhibitions, Oleksandr Dubovik received job offers both in America and Europe, but the artist's roots are in Ukraine, and he can create with inspiration only in his native land. After all, for him art is communication, and a picture is confession. I found what I need to make me happy, and I'm doing my best. To be honest, wherever I have been, I was told, France, Germany, stay here. I cannot. I just felt that the world is too business-oriented for me, too tough and too money-minded. And I felt I will not be there among this freedom. I will not be free. Our idea that a successful artist should live in Paris is, to put it mildly, 90 years too late. Those times are over. We live in an era of pluralism of art schools. And I think that Dubovik is actually a school person inside. No need to push him under someone else's baseboards. He knows himself where he works best. The power of art is in individuality, declares the artist. Because if art becomes something universal, it dies. The specific idea should be in the same hands. And the thing is, the more as this needs to be safeguarded, the artist should not share. Oleksandr Dubovik has once again confirmed his originality with an exhibition of his works at the High Art Festival Bouquet Kiev Stage. That's all, 15 minutes have gone by. Thanks, guys!